If you're tuning now, you're listening to Cocktales podcast, y'all. Cocktales, where the conversations are refreshing.
Welcome back, everyone, to episode 2 of Cocktales, where the conversations are refreshing. Today's topic is something a bit beefy, if you may say. Our topic today is meat, muscle, and medication. Real talk about real health. You're back here again with us here with Daquan, and also, of course, my guest, DJ Bless. The flesh. We are not professionals whatsoever.
Absolutely
but
not.
We do have Dr. Sherlyn Richardson here, who will make sure to keep us on the straight and narrow as we talk about this. I would also like to give a shout out to the Doing It Major House for always having us here. I'll also shout out our sponsors, the Gender Affairs Unit and the National Chronic Disease Unit. So, Doc, thank you for being with us here again. Tell us about yourself.
All right, so, not my first time here. I was here on a previous episode, internist at the Princess Alexandra Hospital. Mm-hmm. So that means I deal with diabetes, hypertension, and erectile dysfunction. It comes up sometimes, no pun intended. So I'm quite ready to deal with this topic, I think, tonight.
Okay. So my question is, how often in your field locally do we men in society come forward when they have this issue?
Well, you know, it's sort of a ticklish, a little tricky subject, because sometimes, a lot of times, men don't really want to talk about it. You know, some persons will come in, they'll tell you, oh, I have a pain here. You do the whole consultation, and then at the end, oh, by the way, doc, I have this problem. You know, it's not something that guys want to come up with and see
Straight off the bat. They
sort of have to, I guess, walk up their courage to sort of bring it to the fore, and then you can sort of deal with it.
Where do you think that stigma comes from?
Well, you know, there's a big thing behind men and this, you know, we want to perform, a lot of people see that as a big part of their being a man, that if I can't perform, am I really a man? If this is a problem I'm having, who am I, you know? So I think that's part of the problem. We have certain social pressures that sometimes are there that makes it harder for them to see, I have a problem with this.
I agree. I've heard some older people in the community who would have said straight up, you know, they feel less of a man because they can't perform any longer. And they would say, son, enjoy it while they can. So I could understand, because I could also say, if for whatever reason that should happen to me, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'll probably have to compensate for it. But that will be a shocker. What do you think is some of the leading causes?
Well, some of the leading causes are the chronic diseases. Yeah, so when you look at diabetes, you look at hypertension, those are the two big ones. High cholesterol, all of those things, when they're uncontrolled, they are leading causes of erectile dysfunction.
So what would you say in Anguilla, what causes all that right now for most men?
Well,
leading things that they may consume.
Well, for men, and if you're talking men more than women, well, we're not talking about women today.
What are we
talking about? So, so
just meat.
Yeah, you're right. So, again, it's the chronic diseases. What I didn't mention, of course, is that you also have substances that we use.
Like what?
So when you're looking at alcohol, so sometimes you find people think that alcohol helps them perform. But here's the thing.
Liquid courage.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, alcohol itself can cause erectile dysfunction on a short-term basis and sometimes on a long-term basis. So if someone's a heavy drinker, over time, it damages the blood supply, which is usually the problem that we're looking at with chronic diseases.
Oh, yes.
They cause the blood vessels that carry the blood to the penis to be smaller than usual. It can't carry the same amount of blood. You can't get the same sort of strong erection. Right. The pressure goes down. Yeah. And the same thing for, alcohol. That damages the blood vessels and it damages the nerves.
So
that's a double whammy.
So it's sort of like the water problem we have on the island.
Yeah. So if it's low pressure, it's not working.
You hear that, fellas? Stop drinking alcohol. Let's see a woman going.
Drink in moderation.
Drink in moderation. Well, I wouldn't say drink at all, because one drink, as he is pointing out, can definitely affect affect you in long term, right? So stay away from the alcohol. I've definitely
and-
tried my best to do that, but you know,
Yeah,
take
and
the courage,
smoking.
as they say.
Yeah, and smoking, because smoking too will do the same thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how does smoking? Is it the substance that lessens it, or is it the smoke that chokes? I don't know.
No, it's the same thing, because smoking, it causes higher rates of heart attacks, strokes. Why? Because it blocks up the blood vessels. So the blood vessels get more dirty. They get clogged up. You don't have flow the same way. So the same way that it can cause decreased flow to the heart and cause a heart attack, decreased flow to the brain, stroke, same thing for the penis.
So anything has stoppage. Okay, I understand. Okay.
Wow.
So how can people who are currently going through these things, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
Well, I mean, you go to the you go to the clinic.
Which
You
clinics?
go to the clinics. Well, you have Southern, not Southern Clinic, sorry, Western Polyclinic, Welch's Polyclinic, Central Polyclinic. All of them, you can go in and get your free blood pressure checks. So let's focus on blood pressure, because that is maybe a
First
bigger
thing.
contributing factor than the smoking and drinking. Thankfully, we don't have as heavy a smoking culture as some other places. Alcohol, though, is a big problem. Yeah.
Can I interject? So we're encouraging to get health checks. I think we need to encourage men in general to get annual checks, because no matter your age, I feel like we should make it our business to see what our body is doing, how we are performing. If I could speak from experience, because this is a very heavy topic and it's very educational to me, where living abroad, I took the opportunity to go to the doctor every year. And it's surprising to me, from a young man coming up, every year something different is going on with the body. Like one year my cholesterol was sky high. And then one year, very scary to me, was my blood pressure was sky high. And I think for me, that affected performance in a lot of ways, even my breathing, right? And I think if you could attest to that, how you breathe, your breathing exercises, it affects your blood flow.
Yeah. More oxygen,
Right, more oxygen.
blood.
So it's a lot. So I would recommend encouraging more annual checks, more regular checks, not just go there and do that 1 or 2 checks when you're feeling your body change already.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's too late. So I
'Cause
think
the
you gotta
reality
catch
of
it earlier, no?
The reality of it, like same you say, like as men, we hate to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
Some people wait until their arm are dropping off before they come to say,
But that's a
hey,
men
I
thing,
think
though, huh?
something's wrong. And it is, but I think a lot of times, a lot of people think as long as I'm feeling good, everything must be good. But that's not true.
the case. That's not the
Yeah.
case at all.
Small things lead to bigger things.
Exactly.
Well, I would say, based on what you said, Bless, I think where we can start as a society in Anguilla, most companies, most people on their medical, through the company, I feel like the companies should promote workers getting their physicals, because they're paying for the insurance anyway, so you might as well make
take
sure
advantage
that
of it,
you're
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So you might as well make sure that your staff is healthy, because some of these illnesses may also be from posture, or the case may be at work, sitting down, not getting proper exercise and all that
Sitting
stuff.
too long.
The mold in some buildings, not calling any names, can also affect the health and breathing and everything else that comes with it. So I feel like the companies also need to take a stake in their employees' health as well, especially if they're going to have them on these programs.
Eating healthy too. I think we got to encourage eating healthy, because we in Angola, we don't cook much, right? We buy a lot of fast food. Thank God we don't have like too much like KFC and McDonald's and those type of food. But what we put in our body does have an effect, right, Doc?
Exactly.
And it does affect the manhood too,
Yes, it does.
Mind your
Because
manners.
remember, I mentioned diabetes and hypertension.
Yep, definitely.
So hypertension, you have too much salt, too much processed sugars in your diet. Those things do lead to heart attacks and these same problems we're talking about with erectile dysfunction. So if you have a healthy diet, exercise, let's not forget about exercise.
Right.
So basically I tell my patients, whether they have diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, whatever it may be, diet and exercise are your foundation. Let's say you're trying to build something. You're trying to build a healthy life. The foundation are always going to be diet and exercise.
Right.
So you can't be someone who's diabetic, taking the medications, and you're eating ice cream all day. That's not going to work. Yeah? You can't be a hypertensive and you said, okay, doc, I'm taking all my medication, but everything you eat is salted peanuts, chips. You're not eating right. So the basic thing has to be diet and exercise.
So
This is why I go gym every morning.
discipline.
I gotta make sure I'm healthy.
You better than me. I try to go. I can't do. I'm not a morning person. I go in at night.
Well, gym is gym. I think exercise is exercise. Once you keep mobile, that is still also exercise and getting your steps in. But definitely big on the exercise. I could tell you a story about myself. I consider myself a super athlete, right? I was doing all different sports, and I got injured when I was considering going pro. So, feeling a little down about yourself, you kind of lose the confidence, and I tend to, eat a lot of junk food, and I went from 187 pounds to 250 pounds in no time, right? And during that time, it affected everything, even sexual performance. And I didn't realize what it was doing to me. Cholesterol through the roof, like you say. I felt at one point I may have been affected by with high blood pressure. So diet and exercise. As you can see, I lost a lot of weight. And I ain't gonna talk too much, But, performance is like,
things are better.
Yeah, performance are better, much better. I'm happy, I could dust my shoulders off a little bit. But during that time, it really did affect. Like, there is a difference. And I could speak to once you feel good about yourself, feel good about your body, I think, that's why I always encourage even like guys that are considering going to the gym to just get into some type of physical activity and keep yourself going, because this is a real topic. A lot of men in Angola are suffering from this thing, and afraid to say something. And I kid you not, the Chinese making a lot of money.
You read my mind. So Doc,
serious, a lot of drinks being bought.
Tell us why these Chinese stuff, gas station stuff, we should not consume.
Yeah, well, first of all, some of the Chinese stuff, gas station stuff, has to do with making the man larger. That they don't work.
They don't work.
Yeah. So the only
so it's
that
just
doesn't
liquid
work.
courage
That's
like
one.
rum.
Yeah. Two, some people do it to help with their performance, but the thing is, I mean, if you're not fit to perform, how are you going to perform in the first place?
Right.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I can drink the best sport drink, but that doesn't mean I can run, 2-minute mile.
Yeah.
So the thing is, you still need to get your foundation. You still got to get in your exercise. Still got to get in your diet, and that can help, because sometimes you have persons come in with uncontrolled diabetes.
Oh yeah.
Let's say, for example, uncontrolled high blood pressure. The first thing I tell them, you need to get this under control. Sometimes just getting that under control helps the problem. Performance gets better. You get better. Erections there. It's that even your drive might be better. But then once you have all this extra weight, you're living unhealthy, those things go down.
Yeah.
So before trying to look at those things, which a lot of times don't really work, okay, maybe they'll get you excited, but at the end, can you still perform?
Yeah. I have one question. How do you know if you're too far gone? Like you're so flaccid that you can't come back.
Well,
That's a hard question.
That's a hard question.
yeah. Again, I think a pun intended again. But the thing is, it's hard to know when it's too far gone. And then there are different things that you have to consider.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people come and they say, well, doc, I go, I think I'm ready. And then as I go, it's gone. So sometimes it's not only about that, it's also, we have to think about the psychological side of it. So one of the questions I ask, first thing in the morning, do you still get an erection? If you still get an erection first thing in the morning and you seem good otherwise, but then when it comes to the activity, there might be something psychological going on.
Yeah.
So that's something you also have to consider. Now, if you do your diet, exercise, lose weight, control your diabetes and your hypertension, you do everything else to control those things, and you still have a problem, then we can talk more about medicines and seeing what they can do. But the primary thing is always going to be control those things, lose weight, exercise, and then go from there.
So what you're saying is, for those who may be doing all of the extra stuff like dieting, exercising, they still have that issue. It may be more psychological.
Could be
issues.
psychological. And if the psychological part, you go through that and, okay, that's not there, then it might be just, yes, that's physical, that's where you're at now. So Now we can try some medications.
So what would be your evaluation for the psychological part?
Now we just have to talk to people. One, find out if there's anything that's bothering them. Two, again, find out about the early morning erection. Because if it's happening, that means it can happen. So the question is, at that point, why is it not happening? Yeah,
A lot of men stress, and I think stress kills as well.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they're worried about the performance itself.
Yeah. So
and that itself is
it's stressful. Yeah.
it's stressful, and adding to it not happening.
Sometimes when you go into something new, something fresh, you want to overperform, and that alone is pressure and stress. And then that's when you don't perform. So I think knowing your stress level, just knowing your body, knowing yourself could definitely play a role in there as well.
Yeah.
What do you think, Doc?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you need to look at that,
Yeah.
and not just don't put too much pressure on yourself sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
Bless. I like the topic you were saying. So is there anything that you tell yourself, like psych yourself up mentally?
I think for
to
me,
like, get you there on a mental state.
so for me, it's all about just mentally preparing yourself and knowing that you're not going in with too much expectations. So you got to know where you're at physically, and you don't force your body to do something that it's not going to react to. So I think a lot of the time, some men, I'm not speaking for everybody, I'm just speaking for some conversations I've had with my, brethrens, them. It's like, when you are physically tired, you shouldn't force your body to do something that it can't do. And I feel like that's where it stresses the muscle, the brain muscle, as well as the penis. And that's where the underachieving comes to play.
The scrotum.
Yeah. So, some people have it hard to have to deal with, the underachievements. But, for me, it's like once you go into a situation knowing that, hey, you're going to take your time with it and you're really mentally prepared for it, then I don't think you'll have a problem. For me, I've been taking care of myself a lot for the last couple of years, where drinking water is definitely a big thing for me. Diet and exercise, of course. You don't see me, eating a lot of sweets, candies, or anything like that. I'm more of a natural person, eating bananas, building my potassium. So there's a lot of things that you can do to really get yourself going on the natural side. Eating fruits, for sure, that's natural sugars. And staying away from a lot of processed stuff. Yeah, for me, the processed stuff definitely does affect. It does nothing for your body.
And it
no health benefit at all. So
clogs up the arteries.
Gives
you easily processed sugars that the body doesn't have to work on. So it's very easy for them to raise your blood sugar levels.
Absolutely. For me, it's also detoxing as well. I think fasting is very, very important. I am not a big faster. I'm not gonna even sit here and lie about it. But when I do fast and
feel better,
come back
energy
to that, it's like I feel like I have new man again. I started from day one.
You do like a 12-hour fast? Or
No. I do like 48-hour fast.
Oh, you good?
I will do like water fast and fruit fast, and sometimes I eat no carbs or whatnot. I switch it up, and your body does react to those things, right? So, men out there, I ain't the doctor in the house.
That's why we have Charlene here.
But definitely those things have worked for me. And buying sea mass or milky with a little thistle in it. But you have to kind of like take care of your body, take care of yourself, put in the work. Nothing comes easy, yeah.
Of course. Discipline, put in the work.
Once you want a healthy mind, you're gonna work at it. Trust me.
So I like that we went to the meat and the muscle. Let's talk about the medication. So I like to pride myself. I got my little cabinet at work. Sometimes we live at work, so your medication should stay at work. That's how I feel. So
you got a little blue thing too. Or you say you got medication in your cabinet. No, you got a blue thing too. You got a little
the blue chew. No,
the blue chew.
No, blue chew don't sell.
No.
Not that I know of. You know anything about it?
I know.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you a prescription.
I know you gotta connect. So give me a little idea how your cabinet looks like.
So more iron. I drink, take a lot of multivitamins. For me, I also like the cod liver oil. For some reason, that does wonders.
You grew up liking it or hating it?
Liking it, but I like it when you drink it with the liquid, not the tablet.
Okay.
Yeah. What you got it?
Ashwagandha. Yeah.
That helps with the stress that you don't see. I have never been more zen in my life after taking that, and that helps so much when it comes to that. Like, once you're calm, you feel like you're riding a dirt bike. For a calm mind.
Mind over matter.
Mind over matter. Like, real talk, it really does calm you down. Maca root, drinking a lot of like stuff from the ground, beet juice, cucumber. Those are things that help. Apple. What else? Soursop. You know, those things, those natural remedies help. But the root stuff from the ground, like your gingers,
All them stuff.
I don't that quit, but I think I'm saying something
No,
right.
those are good. No, those are good stuff.
Yeah. I take
Yeah,
like
lots of
this is like the natural stuff. Right?
antioxidants,
Accidents.
yeah.
Yeah. So those are the things I've been putting into my body. You know what I mean? I ain't the most fit person in the room. Well, you know, Denrai is a little more fit than us. But once you put into your body, you get out. I think and that's where the results are. Once you know that you're putting in the right stuff.
So, Doc, what's your cabinet look like?
My cabinet, well, unfortunately, I actually do have underlying medical conditions, one of which is hypertension.
Oh, okay.
Actually, that was the very first thing I was diagnosed with. It's been, over 20 years now since I was diagnosed with that. Again, it has to do with, there's some genetic background there, but of course, being overweight, that doesn't help. So they're very things I've been working on throughout the years. So
I see you doing your walks.
you know, so those are things that work in progress. So what we're looking at is basically that. Now I don't take it to work because I actually take them at night.
Okay.
Yeah, but a lot of folks, they tend to run from the medicine. They prefer to take natural stuff, which is fine. I usually tell people. No, so one time I was in clinic and this lady asked me, "Do you believe in Bush?" I said, "Yeah, it's right outside the window. I can see it right there." And she said, no, that's not what I mean. I said, "Well, what do you mean?" He said, "Do you believe in bush medicine?" I said, "Well, here's the thing. That's not what I studied. Do I believe that bushes have
The same things that maybe
have the
inside of it.
same
That's
can
where
give you
it's the
benefits?"
extract.
I said, "Okay, they can give you benefits. I have no problem telling people that have problems sleeping at night to go and take some soursop and drink as tea. If their blood pressure's up, to use some soursop or to try some garlic. No problem with any of that. There's some things that we might have locally that aren't known as widely, and because they aren't known as widely, I feel a little less comfortable saying, okay, go ahead and use this because I have no idea
And based on
what
your,
the good or bad.
based on your profession, you don't want to give any.
Yeah,
bad-
because the thing is, these things are drugs. Whether you want to call them drugs or not, they're drugs. Yeah, so just because they're natural doesn't make it a drug.
Okay.
Aspirin, that came from the willow bark. So
Yeah.
people used to take willow bark and chew it up for pain, and that's how they found. Oh, what is this thing? What's causing that? And they found aspirin. Yeah, so if you go and chew willow bark, am I going to say that doesn't have potential side effects? If it's giving you the same thing, so
But it's not processed though, no.
and it's not processed,
Yeah.
but that just means it's giving you some other things too. Are those other things good? They're bad? I don't know.
We don't know for a fact.
I don't know. So
Too
what I
much
tell
of
people
something,
is,
right?
what I tell people is, I don't know. That's not what I studied. There are some things I feel comfortable saying yes for. If you want to use some papaya for blood pressure, I say go ahead.
Right.
Yeah. There's some things I'm comfortable with, some things I'm not.
Okay.
But for some reason, and I mean, all medicines that we have, all pharmaceutical medicines have potential side effects,
Side effects.
and potential, and the good that we're trying to do with it. So the thing is, they usually get out there because it's doing more good than harm. Does that mean that it can't cause harm? No. So when people are a bit anxious about medications, I say, I don't have a problem with that.
I think a lot of people are anxious about medication because it really doesn't cure it. It just suppresses it for a time, right?
Yeah.
So for some people, they look at it as like, why am I putting so much processed stuff in my body? Because at one point, I'll say this, I was the same way, right? Seeing these big pills, and it was very discouraging to want to swallow them. Yes, I could attest to a lot of men out here. Like, yo, these, you want to take this because it's like,
I used to
you gotta,
force
it's say for
myself.
30 days you gotta take this, and then you gotta continuously do it. And I always believe once you start taking medication, you gotta continue, because if you try to get off or wean off of it, it has its effects, right? So like that's what I'm saying. Like, I always try to study root medicine, root cures, I guess. And I actually had the opportunity to get learn a lot from Dr. John Thunder. You know, so he was actually a bush doctor, and having those conversations, he kind of like opened my eyes up to, you know, drinking teas. You know, the Chinese culture, they drink a lot of tea. Medicine, right? And that's that's something that they religiously do, like drink tea, garlic tea, you name it. Like they're into the tea. So, and then you look at their life longevity versus ours, right? And the things that we're eating, they don't necessarily eat. So you kind of have to like learn and piggyback off of different cultures. And you know, again, it's this diet and what you feel comfortable with. Like Doctor said, you know, he's not a bush doctor, but he's comfortable with, you know, what he...
Some things,
right?
Yeah. But my comfort level goes down depending on if you're on pharmaceutical meds, because sometimes they can interact. And sometimes the interaction can be as simple as something with grapefruit juice.
Right.
You know, grapefruit juice actually can interact with a number of medications. But let me go back to something you said for a second. So this idea of people being hooked on medications, it's not so much that you're hooked on medications, because my diabetics in particular, but also my hypertensives, say, well, doc, if I start on this insulin, that mean how long do I have to take it for? Right? So I would say probably not more than 60 years. You know, because...
Wait, what? You say that's so casual.
You know,
the process.
But
That's a good way to say it, right?
Yeah,
More than
like,
60 years.
Yeah, you won't take it forever.
Yeah,
you know.
Hey,
But
how long can you live?
Because you go
Yeah.
broke, you know?
But the thing is,
You live longer
it's
than
not
you
that
thought.
you were hooked on the insulin. It's not like a drug where if you don't take it, you start, feeling for it and want to have to go look for it.
Right.
You continue taking it because the problem that you started taking it for, unfortunately, isn't gone.
Yeah, okay.
So if you're taking it to control your blood sugar, if you stop taking it, your blood sugar is not controlled. Yeah. Now you do find that some persons, as they get older, they need less, and sometimes they can actually come off of it. But that's not necessarily always the case. Same thing with blood pressure medicines. If you're taking it, you can stop taking it, but guess what? Your blood pressure is going to go back up.
Yeah.
So it's not that you're hooked on it; it's that you're taking it for a reason, and if you stop taking it, that reason is still there. Yeah. Now, some people ask me again, do I have to take this for life? Said, I don't know. If you're very obese, lose weight, because just losing weight, you lose 5% of your body weight, that helps blood pressure.
Yeah.
So just losing weight, sometimes you can get off of the medication. That's not always the case, though. So I can't say to you definitively, if you lose this weight, you'll be off of it altogether. Some people will control it with weight loss, diet, and exercise. If they do that, great. Some people will still need medications to help them. But what I tell people that I do is I do risk-benefit ratio. I don't work out exactly the risk-benefit, but I look at someone. If your blood pressure is 220 over 130, is it going to be better for you to take the medicine or not to take it? It's going to be better to take it because you're rushing towards a heart attack or stroke. Yeah, so that's the way I look at it. If your blood pressure is just a little bit elevated and you say, Doc, I want to do a diet and exercise, I would say, okay,
Let's try that.
I don't have a problem with that. Although, to be honest, we have started looking at, I'm trying to remember what they call it. You're looking at time to treat to bad outcomes, right? So they found that
window.
if you're very aggressive at the very beginning and get that blood pressure down as to where you want it as fast as possible, it does a much better job in helping to prevent you from getting to bad end.
The medical state, yeah.
Yeah, bad end disease. So whether that end disease is stroke, heart attack, erectile dysfunction, blindness, whatever it is, because these things can affect basically anything from head to toe.
Okay.
Yeah. So I always tell them, I think if your blood pressure is so bad or your diabetes is so bad, it's going to be better to take the medications. If things get better, we can explore whether or not you can come off. But the very first thing is to get it under control.
Wow.
Okay.
Well,
Free consultation.
yeah.
This is paying a bill. I don't.
Well, that's what the podcast is for, right? Therapy and consultations. I think that's very insightful because, some things you may think you know, when you have the conversations with the right person,
That's
you get
true.
to learn a lot more about yourself.
On that note,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what, 30, 31.
Mm-hmm.
Bless is
35.
29.
I'm slightly older
Yeah.
than both of those.
So I've done my own little research. And of course, as we get older, your testosterone levels goes down.
Mm-hmm.
So what would be the right age for us to introduce testosterone into our bodies? Outside of just doing exercises and dieting, because I think that also helps to produce. But in terms of just adding that extra.
I got a question though before we get into that. That's a good question though. All right. But since we're talking about ED right now, and we spoke about, getting over the counter stuff. We brought that up. Like, how many of y'all have you ever tried? Have you ever tried that before?
What?
Over the counter medicine.
I'm good.
Nah, I've never tried it.
I've been always good.
But the strange thing is sometimes you find that. Well, okay, this is an assumption, by the way, because sometimes you find that there are young guys taking these things, and so far the assumption has been that they're just young guys who are otherwise well, who are taking them for performance reasons. But maybe we need to start asking more questions. Maybe they are taking it because even though they're young, they're already having some issues, and they recognize it, and they're taking it without seeking medical advice as to why it might be happening in the first place.
Oh, they want to overperform.
That might be the case too. That's what we were.
Okay, so I have an honest thing. So I have actually taken an over the counter what do you call it, a pill before,
Thank you for your honesty.
and I'll be honest, it makes you unreal.
What do you mean by that?
Like when I say unreal, like you overachieve that you can't maintain that from a young man. So if you don't have problems, don't do it, because one, it definitely races your heart, right? But those things, I could see why a lot of men, even though they don't have the issues, take those things. One, for example, pornography, right? There's a lot of, right now, I'm not sure if you realize on social media, porn is being sold in such a way that I've never seen in my life. When I was in my teens, you could have never seen those things on your phone or whatever, but it's so accessible now. So what a lot of people are seeing on these videos are things that they can't do in real life.
Yeah, but
So
what
a
they
lot-
don't realize is that they take different
See,
cuts, different takes.
Different takes,
So
exactly.
it's probably not.
There's things.
Continuous.
But remember what they're doing is like what we do, we chop and edit, right? So it's creating this illusion like that is
False.
what it's supposed to be, right? And then you have women too to blame. I ain't gonna leave y'all out. Whereas like, they are the confidence booster or the killer for some of these men. So when they feel like they're not doing a good job, they reach out to get those type of things.
I'm gonna join you on this train.
Well,
I normally don't join you on the train. Go
But
ahead.
I've never ever in my life experienced something like taking that, and I don't think it's something that you can consistently do when you're already performing at a high level, because again the side effects to it is the possibility of heart attack. And a lot of young men in Anguilla, and sorry to talk about it, but have mild heart attacks and stuff like that in Anguilla because they do take these things, right? Like you mentioned earlier, Doc, a lot of men are smoking and drinking.
Exactly. Yep. That's
Right?
what it is
So-
right there.
Their women are the ones who are feeling the burden of their hardship, right? So they have to go and try to find a way to redeem themselves, which lead to them going to these things.
Those things.
And I've had conversations with people privately about that. Like they have openly said, like they had to at one point because they were affected. But that is not the way to cure it.
Exactly.
You got to change your lifestyle. You have to cut the
Change diet.
nonsense. I call it nonsense, like drinking every weekend. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and say I'm not a drinker. I have had drinks and I have my drinks now and then. But to say I'm going over and under, trying to get to a level of drinking where, I lose myself and can't perform in bed, cut that out. But I've learned over time that even one sip or drink could affect your performance in bed. And that liquor culture thing liquor courage. Like it helps me speak more confidently, but when you really think about it in a natural sense of like sleeping with someone, it's not the real deal. It's not the real deal at all. Yeah, when you're sober, you
Better,
yeah.
mind
you
control.
feel everything differently. You're not numb.
So normally you are the devil's advocate.
Yeah, of course.
I
Push some buttons.
I gotta put on my hands too. No pun intended. Um, as you said,
You hand in your
also,
set? What you say you can put on your hands?
hey, wrong episode.
Ah, boy, DQ.
The Casanova coming out.
Casanova in the
out.
building. Ladies
so-
and gentlemen, Casanova. You
So,
put on
like-
your hands.
No, ain't no beef in here. No. Don't play with it. So, like you mentioned, the women, I feel like the women as well, like you said, mentioned that they also play a part in us as men,
Yeah,
having
absolutely.
to go to these avenues. I feel sometimes too. You mentioned porn and all that as well. We are becoming so desensitized, if that's the correct word to use.
To it, yeah. To everything.
Everything, porn, even like ourselves, touching, masturbation. Let's say it. I said it. Masturbation. We do too much of it because we consume too much pornography. I can even say, perhaps I'm not a woman, but I've done research. They sometimes use these toys a bit in excess.
Let's talk about it.
A
This
bit
is
in
this
excess,
a
which
yeah.
then leads to them becoming so numb to touch and sensitization. So sometimes it may not even be me. You know what I mean? It may be them because they're using these things too much in
And you
excess.
know what they're doing now?
And I can't keep up with it.
And you know what they're doing now?
I mean, some people
You know what
can.
these young ladies are doing now? They
Tell
are
me.
bringing the toy to you.
Oh boy.
So it's like you're giving them, you know, your manhood. And it's still, even though you're doing a phenomenal job, as so they will claim based on their, you know, their figure of speech, they still want to add more to it. So it's like, it that is kind of like a man's confident killer right there.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, I'm not enough, I'm not good enough.
I can't
And then that's
agree
when
on that.
men try to go out and, okay, since you're doing that, I'm going to try to boost myself
What are you
up.
doing?
You see man going and boy, what's that drink?
Which one?
It is shop like this. There's this
Ginger?
not a ginger man. I can't think of what it is, but you see a lot of men buying these it's like a little magnums and all.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to build up them blood, you know, taking them. As my cousin will say, you take your tonic for the day.
You're talking.
So it's like, you know, it plays a role, you know.
Definitely,
like sometimes
definitely.
when a man really think he suffering, he's really not, based off of.
But the best thing
those
to do,
little
as we mentioned before, is get your blood pressure checked. If you cross that out, if
And
I
don't
ain't a
stress about
problem,
nothing.
some bullshit, whatever the case may be, once you realize I'm not a problem, you know what the problem is. Definitely. So I think this is a conversation not only for men, but also the women can chime in on this
Oh, yeah,
because this
absolutely.
also leads to it. And to quote a famous actor, you know, what do you want from me? Tyrese, you know, you didn't get
Yeah,
that
yeah,
one?
yeah. What do you want from me?
What more do you want
What
from
more do
me?
you want?
Like, come on. So back to what I was trying to get to as it relates to the testosterone usage.
Oh, right.
Talk
So the
to us.
question that you asked about testosterone. So
What
it does
age?
it does tend to go down as we get older, but you wouldn't just take it without an indication.
So I should stop.
So testosterone,
Over the counter
you can act-
testosterone feels taking you see.
Oh, Lord.
Simply natural.
Simply natural.
So I
Okay.
mean, you can actually measure your testosterone level, right?
By doing what?
So a blood test.
Blood
So you
test,
can do a
okay.
blood test to measure testosterone level. And the thing is, if your testosterone level is within the normal range, I wouldn't say to go out and I wouldn't prescribe testosterone for you. If for some reason your testosterone level is low, okay, then we can talk about me prescribing. So in terms of me prescribing, I'm not going to prescribe testosterone for someone who has a normal testosterone level. Yeah. Now you did mention diet, exercise. Exercising can help to maintain your testosterone levels. Yeah. So that's what you'd want to do. Now, if it actually is low, that's when I prescribe something for testosterone.
So having a little extra in excess is bad, is what you're saying.
Well, I just don't think it's necessary.
If you're in the gym, you know.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
hit the
protein,
gym.
and then
If you don't,
yeah,
no, because
and then you're good.
I personally, I trying to stay away from taking like protein and I'll have protein in the form of food.
You gotta go take the protein. I feel like if you're trying to gain a result, you gotta kind
kidneys.
of.
I ain't trying to.
Well, make sure you hydrate.
Create water. Yeah, once you drink a lot of water, you're gonna be alright. Creatine, the same thing. Creatine actually help you focus.
Well, I'll say personally, when I think there was a time I went to go do a checkup. I used to take a lot of protein, a little bit more, you know. I used to live on it, and I think I did a checkup, and it was like,
Your cholesterol high.
no.
Probably creatinine. your
Stuff inside my, white blood cells too much. Is that what I call it?
in your urine.
Something like that, yeah.
It shouldn't really increase your
Sound
white
like a
cells in
bacteria
your
to
urine.
me.
I'm not too sure. You
No,
might
no,
have-
no.
Sound like a bacteria to me, DQ. Something in your urine, brother?
No, it was a specific. It was a specific thing I was taking, and that was one of the side effects of it. So after I
A specific
spoke-
thing you're taking that you find something
yeah,
in your
protein.
urine?
Yeah.
You found protein in the urine.
You find
Yes,
protein in
that's
your
what it
urine?
was.
Okay,
Yeah.
protein.
Protein,
Yeah, that's what I mean. I can't remember it.
You making it
No, you
sound
said
worse than
white.
it
You
is.
said white cells.
They all ain't they all.
No, they're
Look
very
here.
Bro,
different.
you're
My bad.Moving on.
Right.
You sound a little
because
guilty, you know,
because you take
something.
a lot of protein,
No.
protein, then you might spill some more in your
Exactly.
urine. But,
Yeah.
I mean, the kidney is supposed to be good at keeping protein in.
Keeping
sorry.
protein, yeah.
So you shouldn't really lose too much protein in your urine.
Yeah.
Now, if you're really, really blasting yourself with protein, I suppose the
I
levels
was.
could go higher than.
But how
What
much
is considered
grams
I
a
normal?
think it
day?
was we.
But how much grams a day you were taking though? I don't excess. I don't.
Morning and night.
2 scoops or just one?
I can't remember. I just
Okay, well,
stopped
you know,
taking it
it's
for a
like 2 scoops a day, like 60 grams of.
Well, obviously for you, it was too much, whatever it was.
while, clearly. Yeah.
Or maybe you wasn't drinking enough water.
Maybe that too, because you have to
you
really
have to
hydrate
really.
if
Once
you're
you're
doing those
taking
things.
proteins or anything for your body, you really have to drink a lot of water. Like me, right now, I want to take up a bottle of water and just show them right now. But,
Really?
You
Where
know.
would we find that? Any sponsors?
You know. But you have to hydrate. So, fellas, if you are working out, the key to be consistent and to keep your body going is hydration, right? If you're gonna be taking any proteins or creatines or whatnot, you absolutely have to drink that down with water. That's my take on it. I've
You have
been
like the big jug.
yeah, I have like 3 of them home, right? Monthly they order income, but my thing is I've been in track and I played a lot of sports and I'm always active. I walk around the property at my job a lot. Every morning I'm going to work out. I go swimming. I do a lot of keep my body in motion, right? So yeah, I do feed my body with protein. Diet. I eat a lot of carbs and greens and whatnot, just to keep it going. You kind of have to have the balance. You don't want to have too much excess in protein and not enough carbs to give your body energy. And greens. You don't have to have the greens and teas. You know what I mean? You really gotta drink your teas, your detoxes, and detox your body a lot. I think that's a way to remain healthy. I don't know what you said, Doc.
Yeah, I agree with what you say. Detoxes, I'm a little bit more because it used to be a habit. It used to be a thing. Maybe not so much now, but before, maybe still now for some people, they would have a specific time where they would have their they say they would clean themselves out. Yeah. Is that a good practice, bad practice? I don't have a real official stance on it.
Right.
It's probably not a bad thing every now and again to have that done, but
But when I say
You know.
detoxing, I mean like
you
taking
mean,
a
you mean
purge.
like taking allergens or
No,
nothing like that?
not like that. I mean like the fasting,
Okay.
right? You detox by fasting, right? So yeah, it's like that's how that's what I'm talking about when it comes to.
Yeah. So if people want to do either one, I have nothing to say against it. Because I tend to speak about things that I have direct proof or evidence against. If I'm going to say against it,
So
otherwise I just say
So what's your take on fasting? Just to explain from your
on fasting.
Yeah, fasting and what does it do? Like
Yeah,
to
that's
the
the
body?
thing. I haven't really looked into fasting, like intermittent fasting or other forms of fasting.
Right.
So I can't really speak to it directly. As for persons, I usually, especially diabetics, I still stick to the old 3 meals a day and small snacks, and that you don't eat in one big meal, that they're smaller meals that you eat more frequently. So I still stick to that, although persons have said, oh no, intermittent fasting is good for helping to control blood
Insulin
sugar.
levels and all that, yeah.
Right. So
Yeah, I've
For
been
me,
intermittent fasting a lot.
for me, I'm
So-
still a little bit more on the older side of things in that sense.
We gonna throw everything
So-
at you right now, cause we got you here. What about apple cider vinegar?
Apple cider vinegar, drink it if you want.
But that can actually cause acid reflux. Too much of it.
Yeah.
Okay, if you should, not saying that you're recommending to anyone, but if you were to speak to an empty room of people, when is the right time to drink it?
No, here's the thing. I don't know that it does anything bad. It might do something good. So I tell people, go ahead. So my sort of standard is, if I don't know it to cause harm, and it might cause good, I say go ahead. That's sort of my standard. If I find something that says, oh wait, no, this thing caused a problem, that's when I say, well, this can cause a problem. Yeah, or within certain limits, it can cause a problem. So, for example, some people say they like to drink a little bit of cranberry juice to help to clean the urine, because that's been shown to have before.
But the natural cranberry juice should be the one that it
some
is.
sort of antimicrobial properties in the urine. Maybe not. There has been some evidence to that effect. I think more recently they said maybe it's not that much. But then there's also some evidence that if you drink too much cranberry juice, it can lead to kidney stones.
Right, yeah.
Yeah?
I've heard that before.
So the thing is, I say, okay, if you want to do this, especially if you're not diabetic and it's not this really sweet one, then you can go ahead and try it in moderation.
In moderation.
So sometimes it's not a yes or no, it's a, okay, if it's this much, but don't drink this much.
So basically, all those people who like the little Tito's and cranberry, who do it in excess every 2-3 days.
What I'm saying? Tea for Tito's?
I'm
Tea
more
for
worried about the
tea.
Tito's than the cranberry, though.
T for tight, T for Tito's. Anyways. So what's a concern? Because Tito's is the thing of last summer and also this summer. So what's wrong with Tito's?
Well, again, it's going to be about. So again, with that, I talk more about excess versus. Yeah. So I often don't tell people don't drink unless they have a drinking problem. So
A lot of drinking problems.
yeah. So people that have drinking problems, I told them, you go to church, don't even go for communion, because you know you have a problem. No, I've actually said that.
The grape juice.
No, I've actually said that, because I said, some people, they can't have one drink. They can't taste it and not want more. So if that's where you're at, it's better just to not use anything. But if someone says, we can have one mixed drink, I'm like, okay. It's not that doesn't cause any problems, because I think it was it last year? The Surgeon General put out that basically no amount of alcohol is without its problems. Yeah, because before they say, oh, if you drink this amount, no problem. But they said no amount of alcohol is without problem. Does that mean I'll go ahead and tell them not to? Not really. I say, well, you know what? Just take it easy. Don't drink in excess. You want to have one drink and stop? That's up to you. I'm not really going to chase you down over that. But that's where I stand on those
Everything
things.
in moderation.
Don't drink at all.
Yeah, I mean, if that's your stance, I
Don't
have no
drink
problem
at
with that at all.
It's better.
It's healthier.
Healthier.
It's better.
It's healthier.
Especially if you know you're coating the girl. You never know what's going to happen at the end of the night. You avoid the alcohol as best as possible. You don't want to have a shortage,
I'm practicing stoicism. So we moved through the testosterone part, but I think another very important question for people getting in their ages, that big question that everyone hates: prostate exam.
Prostate exam?
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the things that men run from.
Yeah, definitely.
So I actually gave a talk one time, and
Let's quit.
I ended on the
Saying
it was a picture. It was a picture of a man standing like this, saying, and I know
What he was-
he was standing like this, and I know we were trying to avoid the phrase "real men," but it said "real men don't fear the finger," right? So the thing was, I was saying, the thing is, it's a way to help assess what's going on with the prostate. Because one of the things they told me back in medical school, which is quite a way back now, is, and it was a bold statement, it's probably not necessarily true, but I think he was trying to make the point of how prevalent, how common it is. He said that 100% of men in the Caribbean will have prostate cancer when they die. Yeah?
What?
Yeah, he said
Oh, when they run the exams.
100% of men in the Caribbean will have a prostate cancer when
Why
they
would
die.
he say such
No.
a thing?
No, he didn't say that they will die from prostate cancer.
So you're going to have prostate.
Yeah, so he said if you go to a 80-year-old man, not known to have any prostate cancer, that died from a heart attack, you take a biopsy of that prostate, you're going to find cancer. Yeah, no. Is it 100%? Probably not.
But
It's pretty high. Yeah. So you want to do things to help your prostate health.
What is
Was
a good
that
age to
again?
check though?
Huh?
What's a good age to check?
Well,
though?
usually I tell people, you usually say around age 40. Yeah. It's been proposed that for men, black men, it should even be a little bit earlier
Oh, crap.
because of
Like 35?
because of how how common it is.
Like 35
yeah?
is a good age?
Yeah, and then if you have a family member that had that at an early age, earlier still.
I swinging it close to 35. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
So who
2024.
are qualified to administer these tests?
So usually it'd be most doctors.
A woman doctor?
Well,
What's the correct term for a doctor who does that?
well, it's not. There's no real criteria.
Okay.
No, for each doctor they have to decide how not just how not comfortable, but how proficient they feel they are with it. So okay, so I can be honest here. So one time I had a patient in the hospital, and I checked the prostate, and I thought, okay, I think it feels pretty normal.
I never knew
Then-
you waving your hands wrong. Maybe
Then the surgeon, went to them, and he felt it. And he came back with this description. I'm like, hold on, wait, you felt all that? He said, yeah, I felt all that. I said, oh, that is not. I did not feel the same thing. So to be honest, I said, you know what? I let the surgeon do it. So
poor guy.
there's some persons that are more.
Well,
Well, maybe it has to be with, you're feeling it for the texture. So does it feel firm? Does it feel sort of boggy, like a sponge? Does it feel spongy?
So
Does it-
spongy is bad or good?
yeah. So this is why I stopped feeling them, because I'm like, wait, what am I supposed to be feeling again? So you're feeling for lumps, bumps. I mean, if you're feeling it very easily going into the rectum, then you know, okay, this is feeling bigger than it's supposed to. So all those things they'll be checking for. As I said, I sort of pulled myself out of it.
Good man.
Yeah, so I'm not going to put any doctor on the
Plug your
spot, but there is a particular doctor, female, that apparently a lot of the men prefer to go to because I guess she's more
Handsy?
gentle, let's see.
I think
Yeah.
more
What-
women need to get in that field.
We mean,
I
D
got
might need
how much
her,
And maybe they feel more comfortable
D
because
might
it is
need
a
her
woman.
contact information after this to go and check.
You have her card?
I can tell you off here.
Great. Future reference, please. I'm all about making sure I'm healthy. I want to be as fit
No,
as a fiddle down in my ears.
I must say, definitely, gonna take the recommendation to get the prostate checked because when you're young and having a lot of fun, you don't know the damages that you're doing to yourself, right? So I think getting to that age, close to the age, you definitely have to do it because at one point I was actually afraid to even do a colonoscopy, right?
What's that again?
Colonoscopy is when you
The take with the take with the take with the take.
Yeah.
So we put a camera
Put that camera
of the back passage as they see in the UK.
Yeah, the back passage.
Yeah.
So, again, knowing your health, right, and knowing your body.
Not uncomfortable.
Stooling, and blood, right? Never knew what was going on with that. So, I had to go and check, and I wanted to ensure that I'm doing the right thing, checking for cancers, checking for, what you call it, the track tears. What you call it?
Fissures, fissures.
Fissures, yeah.
Right, something like that. Right? So my doctor at the time, she was like, you got to, do the thing. I was like, what are you talking about? She was like, we might have to flush you out and, do the thing. And I was like, what thing? She was like, put the little camera up here. You're behind. And at first, as a manly man, as I consider myself, right, it was an uncomfortable conversation. I think I put health first. Right? And I think when we're talking about mental health in men, I think you got to put your health more than your ego first.
Yeah, another thing I think we should all think about when we're in those private moments, people like Dr. Sherlin are sworn to secrecy, so you should feel more comfortable in that thing, It's going to scar you for a couple nights, but, it's not going to leave.
Actually, not even a couple of hours.
It wasn't good. So
Yeah, it's hours.
I also had to have one. So when I saw blood, I was like, okay, nope, we're getting this checked
You're
out.
getting checked out.
I'm
Yeah.
not wasting time. I have family members that had colon cancer. So I said, nope. Because the thing is with colon cancer, you find it early.
Yeah.
You find it when it's just a little polyp, you take that out, you just stop yourself from getting cancer. Or if it already is cancer, if you catch it early, they can remove that part. You just saved
Very good.
yourself. Yeah, so colon cancer is one of those cancers that with colonoscopy, they've actually prevented a lot of people from getting cancer.
And so, yeah.
Yeah. So that was an easy decision for me. I went in, I came back out. I said, "Was it done?" They're like, "Yep."
Yeah,
That
it's
was
quick.
it. You. I mean, I was out. I don't even know what happened.
Yeah,
Okay,
they knock you out. Like I can give you my experience. Like they say, it's gonna be a few minutes, and by the time she said minutes, I just remember waking up in the bed
Yeah.
because they put that mask on my face to just knock you out pretty quickly.
How was the recovery?
It was like literally I walked out
No.
the same day.
No problems.
No
walking?
problem. You feel empty, right? And a little uncomfortable because something was there, but you don't really feel any different as a man. Like you just feel better mentally that you checked and you know that you're fine.
Yeah, that's on my
I think
to-do
that
list
is the
in the
mental
coming-
state you have to be in,
coming
knowing
years.
that you can hear that news that you're fine.
Yeah.
So definitely great recommendation on doing the prostate check. I am getting to that age where I feel like the necessity is needed. Like I do need to get that checked. Finding the right doctor to be comfortable with, I think is also, you have to find the right people to be able to open up and have
Yeah,
the
she
conversation with.
definitely needs to be the right
So
person.
she definitely needs to be recommended. But definitely something that we all as men have to do.
So on that same note, with the colonoscopy, is that something that's done on the island?
Yeah. So as of right now, it's done by Hughes Medical.
Hughes Medical,
We're
yeah.
trying to get ourselves sorted out to continue doing it at the hospital. We did have the equipment for it. We recently had some issues with the equipment, so that's where we're at. But we do have the doctor that can do it, so we're trying to get that up and going as soon as we can.
Was the camera going a little?
Well, there's a camera. It goes
It
up.
goes up and
Yeah, it
looks
goes and
around.
looks
that's it.
around, making sure that things are. You don't know
You
what's
don't-
happening.
you don't know
You're
what's
out.
happening.
So I remember
It's
they put
very,
the
very
mask and
small.
said, okay, I think they asked me to count. And I started counting. I don't know how far I got.
Yeah.
I just know that the next thing I knew, I was back in the recovery. And I thought, my thought was, what did you see? My thought wasn't, oh no. my thought was, what did you see?
Yeah.
Is there anything there that I need to be worried about? What can we do? So it was about my health. It wasn't about anything else at that point.
Okay, no problem. So I'm taking all these notes from all these experienced people. I too am
Listen, I
trying to
ain't
be more
experienced.
serious.
No, I just did it once.
You
I've
you
had
took you
experience.
took the step that most people are scared to
Yeah,
take.
absolutely.
I commend that. You too as well, Doc.
Yeah, and the thing is, people are scared to find things out, but not knowing something doesn't make it go away. It doesn't make it not exist. It just makes it worse by the time you do decide to check it out.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll talk about one more thing on the medicine side before we close. Doc, for those who have ED, I know we talked about preventing it, but for those who currently have it, Viagra, is that something that you would recommend to them? Is that something, once you know you have ED and you can't get it up, you have to take that? What are the benefits and, pros and cons of taking Viagra? Of course, prescribed.
Yeah.
And what if you take it non-prescribed?
Right. So first of all, I don't recommend taking non-prescribed because, as with any medication, you have potential side effects. So, one, you have to make sure that you're healthy enough for sex. So, for example, if you have a history of heart attack and you walk
Yeah, can't take it.
up steps and you get chest pain, taking that and having sex, I mean, that could cause you to have a heart attack right there. And sometimes I joke that that's a good way to go, but not for the woman.
Hey.
Yeah. So you don't want to do that. Two, if you're taking certain other medications, because if you use it with certain other medications, the combination can drop your blood pressure
Pretty low.
very quickly. And pretty
So
low
maybe
and
a
very
quick
quickly.
spike and then
Yeah, not a spike, it just drops.
drops.
so it
Yeah.
doesn't even peak.
Yeah, so you just hit the floor.
Wow. So opposite
Yeah,
effect.
the opposite
Yeah.
effect. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So you don't want to just use it without a doctor's advice. So the doctor will speak to you, try to get an idea of what your fitness level is, look at what medications you're taking, look at what over-the-counter things you might be taking too, just to make sure that, okay, if you take this, it shouldn't be any problem.
Can I ask one question though? How good are these things? Viagra is the popular blue pill that we as men talk about in secret or even with the doctors. But how good is it?
They usually help. So you have Viagra, you have Cialis. That one tends to last a little bit longer.
Cialis?
Yeah.
Heard about that.
I think that's the one I'll go for.
Yeah, so it's, those two are the ones that you really look at. And you tend to want to take it within a certain time of when you plan to have sex. Yeah? So like I said, the Cialis lasts a bit longer, so you don't have to time it as much as you have to do with the Viagra.
Oh, okay.
And all of them have to be prescribed.
All of them have to be prescribed.
Doc, I need some prescription for something.
No comment.
no issues here. But okay.
Yeah, so, but as I said before, the first treatment, though, is to look at what underlying problems you have and treat those first.
Okay.
Because sometimes just treating those is enough. Yeah.
So what if you took those things and it still don't work?
So that's problems. Once you've gotten to the point where the pills don't work, there are other things, non-pharmacological things that you can use. So there are things like penis pumps. That's something you put over the penis. It creates a vacuum and it fills it up of blood by creating a vacuum to get you an erection that way.
Right.
Yeah, and then
That's interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know how commonly those things are used, but they are out there. Yeah.
I heard a guy said that they may be in Samartan in a store.
Trying to figure out ways making it
down by
a motion there.
Domino's,
You know
across
say.
the road from the
You
casino,
know say.
and also maybe across on the Burger King in Simpson B. I heard a guy
You
said
know
that.
say.
heard a
But
guy
I could
say
definitely attest to the
Well, there are
ring.
penis rings as well. Yeah.
Yeah, the ring thing does make a difference.
Ring, ding, ding.
The ring thing
Hashtag.
does really make a
Yeah,
difference.
and some people use it not because they have erectile dysfunction.
Yeah.
Some people use it to last longer.
Yeah,
Because the ring
it
goes to the
eases,
base of the penis and it squeezes it so that it makes it harder for the blood to leave.
Yeah,
So then
absolutely.
you maintain erection longer and you can sometimes last longer that way. But that's another thing you can use if you have problems with erectile dysfunction, because some people, erectile dysfunction isn't just getting the penis up, it's also maintaining it for the whole act. So some people will get good pressure, but before they can finish, they lose pressure.
So my question is,
a dead bud.
can we see that? Hold on, wait, pause. So my question is, keeping it up throughout the whole act. What is a clinically approved time frame that sounds agreeable for the act?
So, yeah.
It
So
may vary from person to person, but
I mean, it varies from person to person. So,
But still, what would you
I
say?
think we need to wrap this up.
Healthy period.
man, how you want me to answer that question?
don't
I know
know.
because some people
Yo, what kind of
last longer
question
than
is that?
others. When a woman hits you and say "get off,"
Oh, that's a good measurement.
that's a good measurement. So, I mean, I don't know how to answer that question. Some people last
what if-
longer
but what-
than others. So,
So here's another thing. What if that you as the man feel like you're going enough, and she's telling you keep going, and you're ready to mentally check out, but the lady's like keep going. What do you do as a man?
Pray to Jesus.
I don't know, because I mean most men, I think, when she says keep going, we're like we want to try, but you cross your toes, you try outside things, but it ain't working. So
Yo, man, this is why I love these podcasts, yo. You get the real responses. But for real though, like we really just be trying our best as men to really hold in. We don't think about basketball, baseball.
yeah, you try and think
soccer.
about something else and like, okay, I'm thinking my mind is somewhere else, but
Yeah, it's there, you know.
Mine is telling me no.
But my body is telling me yes. Anyways, man, this man.
So, Dr. Sherlin, we can stay here all night, clearly with all these hard jokes. But I would like
No
to say
pun
thank
intended.
you for being here today and providing us with factual information and also comedic relief. No pun intended.
We needed that.
Remind guys to get your blood pressure checked. It's free. Hospital, clinics, everywhere. It's free. Eat, diet properly. Go to the gym. We have lots of gyms on the island. We have trainers. You can even go online and do it yourself if you don't feel comfortable.
Avoid over-the-counter medicine.
Avoid those gas station Chinese pills. They give you very good price, but you lose a lot when you take it.
And I recommend the Cialis because he said it last time.
You can get
As prescribed by a doctor.
always get prescribed if you feel like you're suffering from erectile dysfunction, which is a serious thing, and it can happen to any of us. We can be here feeling as healthy as possible, but life may hit you, and it's a serious thing. You could go get checked out sooner than later, so you can try to reverse it as soon as possible if you can manage it. I would like to say again, thank you to Doing It Major House for having us here. Our major sponsors, the Gender Affairs Unit and the National Chronic Disease Unit. I would also like to thank my co-host, DJ Bless, for always being present here, man. Thank you.
Of course.
And again, Dr. Sherwin Richardson for all the right answers and right jokes at the right time.
This was comedic but also informative, and I enjoyed this conversation a lot for
So
sure.
this has been Cocktales, where the conversation is always refreshing, and it was really refreshing today. So thank you guys for coming out, and we'll see you again next time.
Peace.